Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about, please tell me you got a full refund. Restaurant slips note into Uber Eats order after seeing what driver did. So drivers are often being accused of a lot of different things. And often enough, the driver is either found not guilty or there's actually a reasonable explanation. And in this case, the restaurant is accusing the driver of something. And quite honestly, I don't know a whole lot about what happened. I'm kind of blind reacting to it, so we'll see. So with that said, we are going over everything that's being said in this article, how it actually is for Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, restaurants, and the platforms itself, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. A note allegedly dropped into an Uber Eats delivery by someone at a restaurant has ignited familiar debates surrounding delivery apps. Sam at Sam Scroat posted a picture of a note which appears to have been written on a receipt paper to X earlier this week. Hi, your Uber Eats driver ate lunch at our store. When your order was ready to go, I've remade it fresh. Give him 1 star. So first off, I can actually see a bunch of different scenarios here. They were intentionally delaying the order for various different reasons. I've seen that a lot. In some cases, the driver will actually be told a really long wait time, and instead of just leaving, they'll be like, you know what, can you put a rush order on X item? I've actually done that when they tell me it's a 30 plus longer minute and they just got the order, which really means that they were choosing not to start the order. And sometimes that happens. And then what ends up happening is they'll complete your order, and then that 30-minute long wait time suddenly became 1 minute or a couple minutes. And you're like, I thought it was 30 minutes. What happened? Now, that latter point is exactly why I say put it in a to-go bag, so that way if I need to run out while I'm eating, I can do that. But some drivers, I can imagine taking the petty party and just finishing their meal before leaving. So in this case, the restaurant might have done that and restarted the order and slipped that note inside. Or maybe they were just a jerk driver and they ordered food while waiting for your order. It probably wasn't long wait at all, and then they just were like, I'm finishing my food first. That's 100% possible. Either way, that's the story that's being told. The Uber Eats debate reignited. Even without further context, it didn't take long for the image to spread across social media. To those frustrated with the state of delivery apps, it served as more proof that the way they have disrupted the food delivery industry has only made things worse for customers. To others, it was emblematic of entitlement, accompanied by the suggestion that anyone who expects timely, accurate orders should just go get the food themselves. Maybe they were just hungry. 5 stars. So I'm paying 2x the price for them to deliver it so they could simply not take orders while they eat, just like any normal person taking a break. Okay, but that's actually not the case though. They don't get paid more to wait for your food. They get paid the same amount regardless. So if anything, the longer they wait, the less they get paid. So that logic is not accurate. That said, saying that the food delivery industry has gotten worse is factually inaccurate. There are so many benefits to the food delivery industry that aren't being recognized. There are restaurants that would not have started and would not have survived as long as they have if DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub weren't actually advertising for them by being a part of their marketplace. Do you know how many hole-in-the-wall places can actually survive because they're on these food delivery apps? I am not trying to say that they are perfect by any means, and that's not at all the message I'm saying. There is a ton of flaws, but let's acknowledge the facts here. There are a lot of benefits that aren't being recognized. I'll tell you what, there are restaurants I didn't even know existed that I've only have found out because I know about DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. So I'm gonna need that to double back on its terminology. If they are ordering food while waiting for their order and they choose not to act as soon as the order is ready, then that driver's in the wrong. It's just a fact. That's not even a lie. I see them do this all the time. Sometimes they'll have 2 or 3 orders 30 minutes apart, but they will wait till all 3 are ready before delivering, so someone will always have their order cold. That's not their fault, though. I've had triple orders before. Sometimes they just forgot about the third one. That actually happened to me. On New Year's Eve, I ended up getting a triple order at Sicilian Oven. And what ended up happening was the first 2 orders were ready. They were saying that,
"Oh, we're still working on the third one. Oh, we're still working on the third one." What are you talking about? That one went out like 2 hours ago.
Are you kidding? You're just telling me this now? That's not the driver's fault. That's the restaurant's fault, and they're gaslighting the driver. Yeah, those 15 minutes he took to eat would have totally made my meal stale to the point it had to be remade. It would also probably take you longer to actually get your food at that point, so I'm gonna need you to relax. No. If you accepted my order, you need to deliver it and complete it, then take your lunch break. Why are you taking a lunch break when you're literally being timed and told to deliver an order? I did DoorDash before. You can get a violation for super late deliveries. That's actually very true, but here's the other part of that. If the restaurant tells you 30 minutes until the order is completed, you can unassign, which affects your ratings. You could wait it out, which affects your cash flow, or you can make use of that time. Some people will order food. I know me, I just prefer to go through my phone and get some work done that I still need to get done, most likely YouTube comments. But other people have their own systems and have their own things they want to do. Do I justify that kind of behavior? No. Both ends, the driver and the restaurant, are in the wrong. The restaurant should have had the order done upon arrival, and the driver should not have further delayed the order. Personally, I would rather someone eat and have the energy to get my meal to me intact. I have a microwave. I can warm it up. Just don't spit in it or do weird things to my food. You know, that is wholesome as hell. Like I said, I still say you should absolutely not further delay an order if you don't have to, but that is wholesome. I appreciate that. If my food comes cold, immediate 1 star and no tip. I pay a premium for convenience and speed, not shit food that takes 45 minutes to get to me. How about dining in and having your food hot and fresh the way it's intended to be eaten? I can't believe people order food, have someone else go pick it up and drive it to them, expect it to still be good, LMAO. Well, first off, there are a lot of people that still get their food hot, so that's a thing in itself. And second, it's no tip, no trip. You wouldn't have gotten your order anyway. What are you talking about? No one would want to serve a failure like that. They need to eat too. He was probably starving, guys. DoorDash workers decide their own hours. He can literally take a lunch break anytime and actively choose to do so while a customer is waiting and waste their time. Okay, here's the thing. Yeah, we choose our own hours, we make our own schedules. I don't condone delaying a customer's order intentionally, but I will say this. I do acknowledge that when you are delivering, sometimes you smell all the food that's in the bag and stuff, and that's really hard to ignore. Like, you don't build that tolerance that you would if you were working in the same place over and over again. Like, if you're working in a deli and all you smell is deli meats while you're working, you're gonna get sick of deli meat. Same thing for a pizzeria and same thing for a Chinese food place. For a driver, you're smelling every kind of food all the time, and sometimes you're working so hard that you don't find time for yourself. That's why I usually like to bring like a protein bar or something, so if that does happen, I am making sure I'm full and not have to worry about that, but that's just me. Are third-party food delivery apps still worth it? Although food delivery apps exploded in usage during the pandemic, a 2023 survey found increasing dissatisfaction from customers who still use them. Of those surveyed, 50% thought prices had gone up too much, 30% felt that delivery times had increased, and 23% reported receiving inaccurate orders. A different survey taken 1 year prior suggests that Americans at least are more likely to blame the restaurant for problems with an order than the driver or the app. With that in mind, it isn't hard to understand why whoever made the order was frustrated to know that the restaurant would likely take the hit if the customer reported an issue. First off, that is highly inaccurate today. The driver is more likely to take the heat for it, and the restaurant will be given the good boy treatment. Second, a lot of people have been finding dissatisfaction with the delivery apps, but they still use them. Yeah, it's not gonna be as cheap as it was during the pandemic, where free money was going around and delivery fees were non-existent. Those things are now a thing today. Also, I find that a lot of these surveys are very limited in their survey market. So honestly, I can't even trust that. It's an accurate description of what's happening. Most people don't even get the point of this. The company will get a bad review for cold food when it was made hit and ready, but the driver took the time to eat, which they're not supposed to do. Even the requirements for drivers are to pick up the order and go. Now, this is under the guise of the order is ready upon arrival. If that were actually the case, they would have been gone. They would have been gone, I guarantee you that. They want to make more money. What most likely happened was they arrived there and what they said was,
"Oh man, we literally just got that order in the moment you walked in. I don't know what happened. Oh my god, it's so weird that took place. Oh man."
But in reality, they had it. They waited for you to show up just to make that excuse. And sometimes they won't even start it when you get there. If it ever takes 30 minutes to get a Taco Bell order ready, it means they're not doing their fucking jobs. That's just a fact. That's none of the store's business. It is literally, though, because the customer complains about the quality of food, that falls on the restaurant. I blame the customer for being lazy when ordering food instead of picking it up themselves. If you order this service, you should expect cold food. That's some bullshit, though. You should expect that the food is not going to be at its highest quality, but you shouldn't expect it to be ice cold. That's unreasonable. The bottom line is that while delivery apps once seemed like a brilliant new convenience, we've reached a point where the experience doesn't seem to be great for customers, drivers, or even restaurants. If the constant stream of frustrations making their way to social media are to be believed. Note this particular phrase. If the constant stream of frustrations making their way to social media are to be believed. Meaning that not everyone believes the frustrations and they're still ordering. So your move on that. I get that everyone has to eat, but maybe not take an order while you do so, or take the order to go along with the one you're delivering. At least they didn't snack on the OP's order, which apparently you cannot take for granted either. Food is not safe in the slightest, and the stickers don't always prevent tampering. The many cases of people having spit in their drinks kind of bricks that. I got one the other day and the driver rocked up with a mate in the passenger seat and they had my food in the footwell of their car and his mate with his bare feet on top of my delivery, using my food to keep his feet warm. First off, I can't even believe that latter point. I honestly think that's made up. However, I will say this, if the wait time is that long, it really is on the restaurant, and whatever happens between the point of arrival and the point of departure is really on the restaurant too. The driver shouldn't have waited to deliver their order, but nevertheless. Bring back in-house delivery drivers. Back when I delivered pizzas, there was some honor in the job. Sure, it was a shit job, but it was our job, damn it. Our pizzas, our customers, and our tips earned for a job well done. And you got good at it. How to hold a stack of pies in one hand, how to break so the food doesn't go spilling off your seat, keeping the right amount of change on hand, basic customer service politeness skills. But the removal of drivers from individual restaurants disconnects them from both ends of the food's trip. They don't care where it's coming from or where it's going to, all of that, and somehow the pay is even worse. It ruined delivery for me. On the customer, and you pay more for the delivery than the pizza, and barely any of that money goes to the guy actually bringing you the pizza. Instead, it goes to some tech bro who is using it to buy a yacht or the government or whatever. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. Number one, in-house delivery drivers are actually a lot more expensive on the restaurant. DoorDash, while their expenses are high, they are saving the restaurant money in the long run. So there is some truth to that. Second, the whole point about taking pride in your work, there are gig workers that don't take their job seriously, and there are gig workers that do. That goes without saying. And there are pizza drivers that were shitty back in the day. That's just a fact. The whole point about the tech bro, I mean, yeah, you've got a point, but still. The entire gig economy is not a good idea, period. Spoken like somebody who just hates gig workers. In my opinion, it's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. Look, I'm just gonna say it straight up. The driver should not have taken the order if they were not prepared to deliver it right away. That's just how it is. If you're gonna order something while you wait, make sure you take it to go, eat it while you're waiting, and in the event that you need to go now, you go. Also, if the restaurant is going to treat the driver time like that, then it shouldn't be taking the order. I remember there were so many times to where they intentionally told me a really long time for the order, and they took even longer to complete it. And sometimes they'll say 40 minutes, and then after I unassign it, they'll chase me out saying, oh, it's right here, it's ready to go. I just asked you if it was ready. There really are some failure restaurants ran by failure people, but there's also drivers that need to take responsibility for their shit. It goes both ways. This driver, if it is factually accurate based on actual events and there's no misconstruing of the facts, then yeah, I think that driver should be reprimanded for that. Give him a contract violation, kick him off the platform, do something. But that is not a display of all gig workers by any means. The only times I've ever done anything remotely close to this is when I was told 30 plus minutes and I had other work I needed to do. And I was starving to all hell, but then I started taking protein bars so I don't order from restaurants anymore. In terms of all the haters, I don't even want to acknowledge it. They're not even worth the time. Just do yourself a favor and make sure you're completing the orders as quickly and efficiently as possible so you don't end up being the reason photos like this go viral. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.